Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing and welcome to the weekend. Bit of boxing on Friday night. Very, very good British title fight between Troy Williamson and Mason Cartwright. Won by Williamson unanimously. And it was a really good British tussle. A really, really good fight. You know, you can talk about these intercontinental belts and whatever the hell they're called, silver titles and all this alphabet soup crap. But to me, none of them compare to the British title, because frequently they're not evenly matched fights. And secondly, although they get world rankings for fighters, they're just meaningless belts. The British title is a fantastic belt, always has been, always will be. And very often they are very well matched contests. And this is an example of that, because Troy Williamson was coming off that victory over Ted Cheeseman, where he flattened him, that picturesque left hook, knockout, highlight reel stuff. And he was in first defence in against Mason Cartwright. Cartwright was considered to have little chance of winning, not really a live opponent, because he had 2 defeats on his record and both were by stoppage. One was in 2019 against Danny Ball. He got done in 3 rounds. Ball at the time was undefeated. And then prior to that, Darren Tetley stopped him in 9 rounds for one of those WBO European light welterweight trinkets. So Cartwright, people thinking Cartwright's going to get done here, and probably 6 rounds or less. And I have to say I felt the same thing, but not a bit of it. I don't know what Tetley and Ball have got in their fists, but it must be something heavy, because Williamson struggled against the guy who showed a really good jaw. I say struggled, he struggled for the first 6 rounds anyway. At the time I thought Williamson has started quicker, because he normally starts very, very slowly. But actually looking back on it, I think probably Cartwright was forcing him to start quicker. And yeah, I mean, this was clearly, you know, from the word go. I mean, the eyebrows were raised, and in the second round, the eyebrows hit the roof, because an overhand right from Cartwright put Williamson on the floor. And Williamson got up and seemed to know where he was, but his legs weren't that steady, and Cartwright tore after him, landed some other, you know, considerable punches, like weighty punches. And Williamson looked like he was in some sort of trouble, you know. So I'd say the first 6 rounds, Cartwright was winning this fight, and doing a lot of really good work. He also was making Williamson work probably more than he wanted to, because Williamson he's quite a conservative puncher. He lets his hands go, but more in bursts and consistently. And he was forcing Williamson to, I think, to throw punches or to be busier than he didn't really want to be. But after 6 rounds, gradually Williamson seemed to find his feet a bit much, and a bit of the energy left Cartwright. And probably after 9 rounds, I can't remember. I mean, I scored it in my head but didn't write it down, but I think I still had Cartwright a point or 2 ahead. But it was the championship rounds that counted, because Williamson really came on strong in the championship rounds. He had previously landed a few individual good punches against Cartwright, and Cartwright, again, good jaw on the guy. He stopped twice before, but I don't know how. But he wasn't really shaking Cartwright, and Cartwright was slipping quite a few of these punches that were coming at him. Enough were landing to probably give Williamson the edge in most rounds. Cartwright, I would say, still looking a little bit dangerous at times. But that was up to the 9th round. In the championship rounds, Williamson, I think, cemented the win, because he really took over. He was landing more punches. He was landing heavy punches, and there was less coming back at him. And by the 11th and 12th, Cartwright looked like he wasn't really doing much in the way of offense at all. He was still game, still trying, but not quite able to have the impact that he'd had in those first 4 to 6 rounds. The scores were, 2 of them I think were relatively wide, 117, 111. There was a 10-8 round in the second round for Cartwright, obviously. I think one of the judges had it 114, 113 to Troy Williamson. So that would be, 7 rounds to 5, 10-8 round for Cartwright. That was John Latham, I think, card. The other two cards were wider. And I think Williamson, yeah, deserved the victory. Could you make an argument for a draw for Cartwright? We've seen everything, haven't we, recently, but maybe. But overall, no, I thought the right guy won. But no shame for Cartwright at all. This was his world title fight. He gave everything. He gave Williamson a run for his money. Far, far tougher fight than we previously thought. Or I'd previously thought, anyway. And Cartwright, I don't think he's 30 yet. I think he can come back. Williamson, I think this was probably a learning fight for him. You know, you got to be careful from the off, especially against a guy you think you've got the up on. Because I think maybe, I'm only guessing, but maybe Williamson thought after the Cheeseman war, this was going to be an easier fight. Maybe he thought that subconsciously. Don't ever fall into that trap, that mistake, because you will be found out. But Williamson, I think, can push for European honours. Maybe he wants to win the Lonsdale belt. And Mason Cartwright certainly deserves another British title shot. So did you see the fight? It was on Probellum. Probellum card. Good fight. Good standard British title fight. I love those British title fights. I wish it's a type of fight I wish I was ringside for, you know, because I've sat ringside for a lot of those types of fights. Real close, grueling, nip and tuck fights. Really totally absorbing when you see them up close. But watching this on the TV I watched it on my computer. Great stuff. So respect to both boxers. Onwards and upwards, I think, for both of them. If you're new to this channel, and you could subscribe, hit the subscribe button. It only takes a second. It's free. Come on, it's free, please. Hit the like button if you like the video. We've got the weekend coming up. More boxing to come. I'll do a few more videos. But thanks for your time, as always. And leave your comments below if you saw this fight. If you haven't seen it, check it out. We'll speak again soon. Take care.